Syria in last 24 hours. Army repels ISIL's attack on Gov positions in Homs, Tehran, FNA. The Syrian army soldiers fended off terrorists' attack on their positions in Homs province after hours of clashes, inflicting major losses on them. The terrorists' offensive to capture the government forces' positions in the northern parts of Homs province were warded off by the strong defense of the Syrian military men. Meantime, the Syrian army and popular forces continued their military advances in other parts of Syria, including Damascus and Deir ez-Zor, over the past 24 hours. Tens of terrorists were killed and dozens more were injured during the Syrian army's operations in other provinces across Syria. Homs. The Syrian army troops warded off a heavy offensive of the terrorist groups in northern Homs on Saturday and managed to impose several casualties on the militants. The army men clashed with the terrorists that attacked pro-government forces positions in the village of Jabrin from the village of al-Mashru'a in northern Homs and managed to fend off their attack after killing a number of them. In the meantime, heavy fighting is underway between the army soldiers and ISIL in Humawma and al-Mu'ayzileh in southeastern Homs. Damascus. The Syrian army troops stormed the positions of the al-Nusra Front, Tahrir al-Sham Hayat of the Levant Liberation Board, in southwestern Damascus on Saturday and captured 2 more regions. The army men launched a fresh offensive on al-Nusra positions near the small town of Beit Jin and drove the terrorists out of al-Tamatiyat and al-Handarat regions south of al-Amarwaj River and east of Beit Jin Farm. The army soldiers imposed military control over a large area in Beit Jin Farm and also cut off the only road between Beit Jin Farm and the 2 towns of Beit Jin and Mafur al-Mia. Field sources said that the army has captured the strategic al-Hanaka region that enabled the pro-government forces to tighten noose on terrorists in Mafur al-Mia. Deir ez-Zor. The Syrian army troops hit ISIL's strongholds in southeastern Deir ez-Zor on Saturday and imposed control over more regions near the town of al-Bukamal. The army men stormed ISIL's positions in al-Bukamal's countryside near the border with Iraq and managed to capture the region on the bank of Euphrates River. A number of ISIL terrorists were killed and their weapons and equipment were destroyed in the clashes. Relevant reports said that the army troops warded off ISIL's large-scale attack on pro-government forces' positions in a region between the provinces of Deir ez-Zor and Homs. The army men exchanged heavy fire with the ISIL in regions near the T2 oil pumping station in southwestern Deir ez-Zor and al-Mu'ayzileh in southeastern Homs and managed to fend off their heavy attack. The army men killed a number of terrorists and destroyed their military equipment. Hama. The Syrian army troops and air force targeted the positions of al-Nusra Front in northern and northeastern Hama on Saturday, damaging the terrorists' strongholds. The army's artillery and missile units opened heavy fire at al-Nusra positions in the towns of al-Latamina and al-Musharrafa in northern Hama, leaving several militants dead and their equipment and positions destroyed. Also, the army aircraft bombed al-Nusra strongholds in the villages of Ibn Wardan, Malik and Abu Dali in northeastern Hama, inflicting major losses on the terrorists. Idlib. The Syrian army forces managed to push the al-Nusra front back from more positions in northeastern Hama, paving the ground for the launch of larger anti-terrorism operation in southern Idlib, field sources reported on Saturday. The sources said that the army's artillery and missile units shelled heavily al-Nusra strongholds in the towns and villages of Atshan, Tal Skaik and Hawatin in northern Hama near the border with Idlib. They went on to say that the army's advances in northern and northeastern Hama have paved the way for the pro-government forces to further advances towards the towns of Al-Tamana and Khan Sheikhoun and later towards Marat al-Nu'aman to free southern Idlib. The sources further said that the army men managed to advance against the al-Nusra base in the town of Abu Dali in northeastern Hama. Military sources reported on Friday that a large number of reinforcements from the Syrian army's Tiger forces arrived in northern Hama after spending several weeks in Deir ez-Zor province. The sources said that a large number of the Tiger forces Taha group officially arrived in the town of Omhana in northern Hama. The Taha group is a seasoned unit from the Tiger forces that has fought in several battles against the ISIL and al-Nusra Front in Hama, Homs, and Deir ez-Zor provinces. In addition to the reinforcements from the Tiger forces, a large number of military personnel from the National Defense Forces (NDF) have moved towards the front lines in northern Hama, as they prepare to launch a major attack on the militant positions in Idlib province.